Good morning to day 3, 4, 5. 20 days left. 20 days left. No leaking coming from above. So I'm going to get up there in a minute and have a quick look to make sure that that repair that we did on the repair has actually cured this time. Because as you remember, on Saturday we found out that one side had cured and one side hadn't. So they've replaced that. So I'm not too sure what they've done. I did the last one, so hopefully they've done it well. Today we're going to be trying to get the windows finished off in the cottage. We're going to be getting the doorway out for here to make sure that we've got the right opening here and just make sure we've got the right equipment and potentially we're able to get the doors in. We're going to have to get the roof upstairs rolled with the rest of the rubberisation, so we're going to make sure it dries out first. And we've had some rain here today, quite a bit this morning actually, at 5 o'clock when I drove off. So it seems to it's drying up a bit at the moment, but obviously we're going to wait for upstairs to completely dry up before we put anything down. Yeah, we should have been doing that a while ago actually, before the rain season started, I think. Note to self. Other than that, mosquitoes, quite a few here today, getting bitten on the legs today quite a bit, so the water is certainly making them come out to play, which is a pain in the backside. Other than that, it really is a case of waiting for tradespeople. Tomorrow we've got the electrician coming to do some of the electrical bits, sensor in the roof, Cat 5, Cat 6 up on the ceiling for the cameras. Cameraman coming tomorrow as well to make sure the cameras go in. Mason coming back in tomorrow to do some other bits. He didn't do the 3-foot window like I asked him to. That's something we wanted to do today, but we can't now because it's not been done. Plumber is due to be here at 9 o'clock. It's 1:45. So fingers crossed he's going to be moving the mains water behind here, and he's also going to be getting the extra drainage that we bought on the patio assisted with. Obviously they'll drill through when he's here. They don't want to go drilling anything until he's here and he can commit to connecting. Other than that, also I'm going to get the glass in today. Hopefully I can try and get that trimmed back. I've already started already. I've been trimming it back as we speak, in the hope that I can get some of the glass in there and try and get the units at least opening and shutting. One of them has come off the hinge. I need to work out why and how to get it back on again. Other than that, it is what it is. We are hoping the rain holds off today and we can crack on. Again, over the weekend, thanks for the comments. They really do mean a lot. Give me some more downstairs. Over the weekend, a couple of things that came out obviously was number one, the grey drain holes that we bought. You guys are sort of making out as if there's some form of like P-trap. So it's to collect dust, dirt, etc. and stop it going down the pipes, which makes complete sense. I will certainly install them as they are for now. The one downstairs we had to trim because it's going to take a lot of water. I'd rather mud and whatever go down there rather than have any form of restriction on flow. Because we've only actually got about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of play down there before it starts going into the actual basement doors. So we have no choice on them. But these ones we do have a choice. It's going to be 4. I think we'll install them as they are now and see how they cope. If they cope well, then great, we'll leave it as it is. If they don't, then we can trim them afterwards. But again, we're not going to go installing those until the plumber turns up, and then we can drill the holes and start installing. But it's going to be quite a bit to take out the patio, so I really do hope we miss the rebar in the floor, which is going to be the biggest pain in the backside. But we will see. One labourer in today, the other one's not arrived as yet. He's bagging up the stuff they've been dumping over the road there, just so that we can try and get the bin men to take some of the stuff, which is just general, their food, their things like some of the gardening they've done. They should have bagged that up rather than put onto a pile and get that gone. And then this week we are going to try and get 4 to 5 loads of topsoil put on here. So that needs to come in sooner rather than later because we need to look at putting the back door in here, and we can't put the back door in until the lorry is reversed in and done what it's got to do. So I certainly don't want the threshold being trampled on by lorries. That's for sure. It's bad enough having tradespeople walking in and out of it. So anyway, apart from that, that's it. I'll check in with you a little bit later on this morning. In the meantime, give me some thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, obviously click the bell below. And select all so you get notified when the lovely content comes out to you. And again, all of it, what you're doing for me obviously helps the organic growth. I think we're at 754 as of yesterday, so we're still a good 250 away from obviously the magic 1,000. So any help you guys can give or any advice would be greatly appreciated. Again, thanks for the comments. Everybody like AJ, Matthew, AJ Watson, you name it, you've all been absolutely brilliant. So thanks for the comments. And from my point of view, anything I can do or anything you want to see in particular, let me know. Someone did say over the weekend they wanted to see the grass pods, buds, whatever you want to cast them as. So let me quickly show you. So they're starting. So on Friday they did put more in. So initially we had a row of 9, probably about 12 to 15 inches apart. We've now got another row going in between all of them. So he's been growing these. And because we've been having a lot of rain, I've not had to water them every day. These ones here weren't surviving very well because the sprinkler wasn't getting to them. And he's also putting a couple of extras down here as well. I think he's put another one here and another one here. So we should now actually get the full coverage. I personally didn't want grass down here. I wanted this to be AstroTurf, just purely because it needs to look good all the time and can't be bothered to maintain it without being rude. So we'll see. If it takes, great. If it becomes a pain in the arse, it becomes turf to dig up and put somewhere else. But anyway, hopefully it'll certainly bring a different colour into the building and help offset a lot of this grey and concrete that we have. I hope that helps. I'll certainly obviously look at the back in the same light as and when we're ready. And fingers crossed, obviously the soil will be here, hopefully during the week, that's for sure. That's the plan. And then we can crack on with getting this in and sealed. But anyway, I'll update you soon. Take care. Okay, I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. But the windows had to go in. So one's already done, so it's in, it's tilting, it's turning, it's shutting. It's a pain in the arse, but it's in. This one is worse. A couple of the brackets at the top, for some reason there's a screw up here which is a bit proud, and it does stop the tilt from going in and out for some reason, so I'm going to have to look at that, see whether it's been bent in any way, shape or form, but I managed to get it in there for now. And it's shutting. So as you can see, I'll flip it around so you can see what I've got to do. So the first thing I've got to do is measure the frame and basically central, fix a screw here, fix a screw here, and fix a screw there. So at the moment what I'm doing is they're 8-foot windows, I'm doing 1 4-foot in the middle and 2 foot up and 2 foot down on both sides. Naturally at the moment we're getting around about 61 centimetres in between the bottom and we're getting 62 in the middle, so I'm getting quite a bit of a pull out anyway without actually fixing anything. So that's enabling the window to shut nicely, but at the same time on the other side, which I will show you, in fact let me lock it first. So sometimes it enables the window to shut better, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the window is shut properly, meaning they've got an external rubber that goes on the window, which I will film you and show you in a minute so you can see what I've had to do. And that rubber basically is forced up against the window here, as you can see. So as you can see at the top, where it's thinner, it's set back, where now it's actually protruding a little bit out here. And then as it goes further down, it goes back in again. And on this side, as you can see, it's right underneath. So it's meant to be butting up against underneath here. And then it comes out and starts showing itself, look. So that's like a little squidgy piece on the front. And it gets bigger here, look. There's quite a gap. Now the reason why, if you can see, this frame has been buckled slightly. So really not good quality this time. I mean, the first time we had a few things missing and we had a few issues with obviously the installation, but the windows in general weren't too bad. But this time we've got bits missing, we've got the wrong sizes delivered, we've got buckled frames. It really is a mess, and it's not us because I paid to have these put into a solid wooden crate. It cost me £1,250 to have the 2 crates made. These were all put into the crate and secured, so they weren't even opened until I got here. I opened them myself, as you saw in the video. So these windows are damaged like that before they even got to me. So, but as you can see, go back a little bit, this rubber is not even touching this, so I'm gonna have to try and mallet that somehow back. Otherwise the wind is just to drive the rain straight through that gap. As it is, it's meant to be further backwards. So I need to think about what to do there, because I've not pulled those windows out at all. All I've done is put screws in to fix them in place. They're not pulling it in any way, shape or form. So I would say that you've probably got to jack that and pack that over. So I don't know how to do that. I mean, that would be like a crowbar, pull it, move it into place, pack it out and then let it off. Because at the moment, normally you would screw in and you'd pull the frame over, but I don't need to. It's actually over naturally. So, but anyway, it's shutting. It looks good. We'll silicone it in. And this one, hopefully, is going to be as straightforward as that one was to go in. It was quite simple. So the first thing you've got to do is to work out roughly how much packer you need here. On that one over there, I bought these packers from Koymans, GS ones. As you can see, blue is the widest, green, etc. So in this one here, it actually had a, remember right, it was a green and a cream in that toe and heel corner. So in the hinge corner, you always start off by toe and heeling the hinge corner first. So here we had two quite big packers. I loaded the window in, I pushed the window over, and I straightened it with a packer on this side, and then wedged it out that side, and then wedged at the top, and then wedged in this corner here. And then you basically put these on. These are only, they just slide in. As soon as that goes in like that, it holds the window in because the window pushes against it and it can't come out. So once the window's in, you put the top and bottom piece in to hold it in and make sure you're happy with it. And then you slot those in. And that is the thing that protrudes on the front that we were looking at just a minute ago. So this is the actual rubber that protrudes, because that's the one that comes around and hits against here. So it's meant to be sitting in this groove. See the groove going all the way up and around? That little bubble piece, as you can see, is meant to sit in there. So from the front, you're not meant to actually see that. You're not meant to be looking at that rubber like that. It's meant to be in here. So I'm not too sure what's gone adrift with this window, but I say the only thing I can do now is to pull that one over, pack it out so that it can't go any further, and then screw it against the packers. You can slightly see the window being quite wider. I mean, if you look at the width here versus the width at the top, it's definitely being pulled that way, but it's not me. So I could do with loosen it off a little bit on both sides. This one doesn't look too bad. Yeah, no, it's not as bad as the other one, but it is still doing the same. So really, you should be crowbarring it out and packing it, and then screwing against those packers. Otherwise, you're going to keep on having that wind and rain issue. To show you what I mean about the buckled frame, as you can see, so we've got a buckle right here. I don't know what's happened, but we're definitely going to have to get that knocked back. As you can see out here, we're starting the actual central drill of the drain straight into this one here. We're going to put one in here, and we're going to put one in here. So they're being done, so hopefully we don't hit any rebar. If we hit the rebar, that's going to be an absolute pain in the butt. And they're about to let all that water down into the basement, so really you should have someone downstairs about to put that water straight through. But they won't. But anyway, that's their job, not mine. Right, so yeah, it's not a great job to do here. So I've trimmed all this back. This is now ready for the decorator to come in and fill. I do need to contemplate what I do with these. I might let those two screws off, because I've only got two in there and they're very loose. As you can see, they're not even bedded in them. So I'm going to let that one off a bit more, let that one a bit more, get this jacked out a bit more if I can, maybe clamp it. Good idea actually. If I actually put a clamp from one side to the other and then pull the clamp in, that might help. And then I'll try it with this one. So I want to try and get this one in and sealed anyway, so I might just work on this first, get this one in. I'm going to measure the centimetre width from here to here, because that one is a centimetre difference. So I'll see what this one is, and I'll make sure that I deal with this one before I screw it in. But again, ideally you want to screw the frame in first before you load it with weight and windows. So I'm going to get that done first after I've measured it. So the first thing to do, obviously, is screw a level onto the actual frame itself to make sure that it's straight that way, and straight that way. And then screw it in and then load it with glass. I'll get on with that now, and I will check back into you once I start doing something. I'll try and film as much of that as I physically can for you. Okay, so I'll sporadically film the install of the glass and the edging and stuff like that, just so you can see what these windows have. Most windows from the UK are very, very similar, so let me show you that very quickly. So, window ready. Obviously, first thing you've got to do is take all the orange little packers off. These are put on there to protect glass on glass, to ensure they don't break. But at the same time, you also got dust and everything through here. So the first thing to do is remove those, wipe all the way around, both sides, and ensure that these ones have got blinds inside. So ensuring that the mechanism for the blinds is on the inside. So this window now is open, obviously, which means we're now looking at the outside, which means this piece has to go in that way. Blinds inside, operational wise. And you can see what I mean by that. These ones have got the new magnetic technology. So as you can see, there's a little round magnet at the top of that, and what that does is you stick a little magnet sticker onto the window with a rope that comes down that sticks on as well, and that magnetizes through the glass and turns the actual blinds and makes them go up and down and operational. So on the other one, we actually had roughly that much of a packer. So they're the packers that I'm actually using. The first thing I do is put the packer in, get that ready, because I'm going to need that. Get the other one ready, which is sitting over here. Again, dust from the guys, thanks for that. So that needs to be cleaned out as well, so I'll do that next. And when the ladder comes over, I'll take that up with me. So I'll quickly clean those and get the ladder ready. Okay, so both pieces are now cleaned. One will have semicircles drilled out of it because the actual weep holes have been drilled. So be careful that you know that this one's actually for the bottom and one is for the top. The window's now been wiped all the way around, but one thing you have to make sure is just check, because they actually, the double glazed units, they seal them with a very thick silicone. Just make sure there's no offcuts of silicone like that, so just get a, sorry about that incoming call. Trim those off all the way around to make sure it sits in nice and flush. So that's the next thing for me, just quickly get up, trim those off, and check the other side as well. Okay, so you won't hear me very well, but trying to film at the same time as doing some work. So I always put this piece in first because this back helps hold the window in place. Push the packer over to the far right hand corner, make sure the bottom piece is in. Get the top edge ready. And a ladder. Try and push the window over to the right hand side where your packer is. So that's now in, hold with your thumb. Okay, so the window is now held in place top and bottom, and it's now on the packers at the bottom right. The downside is now what you need to do is you need to ideally take the pressure off of the window in order to take that bottom edging back out again, which you do need to do. So now it's just messing around with the window to try and get to the point where it's in place where you want it to be. And as you can see at the moment, the gap is quite tight here, so you need to move this over a little bit more. I normally pack this out. As you can see, the gap's big here. But it's about transferring the weight now from this corner to this corner. So this corner needs to be packed out, both sides, top and bottom, in there and in there, in that corner, and this needs to be the same. And then you need to pack these out to make sure that these are where they need to be. Again, not too much to the point where it swells the door out, but it's definitely got to a point where the frame can't move like this. All right, so should have really fixed the screws in first. But anyway, I just wanted to show you anyway, get the window in. So I'm now going to take that back out again, get the screws fixed, take this bottom one off, get those packers in there properly, and then set the window. Okay, and all of the actual packs, boxes, blue screws that come from Coimers, all come with their own drill bit. They come in a little bag like that. Masonry piece. So again, all I've done is I've used a metal piece to drill a hole straight through the frame. It's a dual core, which means it's outside and inside. Then once that's done, swap over to the bad boy and drive that through. As you can see, I forgot one there and it busted. So I've just re-drilled it and that's not going to be filled. Well done, Alf. Same thing here, that one's right through, that's right through. But like I said, at the moment, the frame is wider in the middle than it is at the top. So if anything, I need to try and find a way of wedging them out somehow. Don't know how. But either way, I'm going to have to cut the fixer foam and try and put some form of block packer in there to ensure that I can try and get the frames out. Otherwise, I'm going to have the same problem with this one here as I've had with this one. So, bit of a pain. And these ones here, by the way, these are slightly bigger than 24 inch because they're the two windows to go into this one, which I will contend with potentially after, depending on how much more time this one takes. But anyway, so I just wanted to let you know, obviously, construction screws, always go with the 3s. I think the ones I'm actually using at the moment, I think they're the 4-inch. But they do singular 5s and 6s as well. Always worth getting those just in case, because you never know whether you're going to go deeper or not. But anyway, so that's the next stage. Okay, so this is what we got so far. We're packed in this corner. And now what we've got to try and do is get something forced down into here, and just make sure that the windows can't go any thinner than they need to be. Not too sure if it's right, in all fairness. I mean, let me know in the comments below if you think I'm doing it wrong. But obviously I know you've got to transfer the weight from the nearest hinge to the wall to the other side. And I know you've got to pack that out up and across. And you've also got to do the same up here. But what I'm not doing at the moment is actually packing it to the point where it's forced over against this side, which maybe that's what I've got to do. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are before I seal this up. Okay, so now the window's actually in. It's just now actually using your fingers and pushing this. Only goes in one way. It's quite straightforward to put in once you actually realise it's not complicated. As you can see, push one bit in and pretty much slide it backwards. Now they do say to just every now and then put a little bit of slack on it. I.e. like this, you've got like a little bit of slack like that. Just as the rubber starts doing its thing over time, rather than it stretching and coming up from the corner, it means that it's got the slack that it needs and it stops it from happening. So there's a slack there, let's see it. Sometimes you might have a little bit too much, but it finds its way out, look. See? So yeah, I've gone all the way around there. I've kept it in one piece as well, again, rather than cutting it, doing one bit, I've kept it and I've pushed it into the corners. You've got to be careful not to push them too hard or not hard enough. But it's inside anyway, so that's okay. Dust all over the bloody place. Okay. Anyway, so I'll continue doing it. It won't go in there. It won't go into that one. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I'll finish off this bottom bit now, and then we'll measure the width of the window. You go around the actual outsides, make sure none of the actual rubbers come out. Sometimes it pops out, and you just have to force it back in again, which that all looks good. So as I said, this bit here, this little bobbly bit, is the bit that's meant to sit in here. So if it's not sitting in there, or it's sitting over here, it means the window is too thin, or the frame has been pulled out too fat. Either way, it's meant to be in line with that, which is obviously what stops the water from coming through. So as we've seen on this one here, we've actually got the frame too wide, which means that the rubbers aren't sitting in the grooves themselves. So these are the rubbers here, look. So anyway, I'm gonna have to try and work out how to leverage that somehow. That's what's got to be done there. So anyway, I'll finish this off and I'll show you operating. Okay, window's in, window's been cleaned. Backside's been taken off. It's not shutting very well, but I need to adjust it, but it's in and it shuts. Window 1, again, needs adjusting, but it is in and it shuts. And now I'm taking out said double. I'm just cleaning out the actual threshold, letting it dry off, just cleaned it. I'll get ready to put some silicone on that, get that back in there, balance that up. I may as well have a go at getting that in there as well. Why not? Why the hell not? I'm not too sure whether this is a double door or a fixed door. It looks like it's a fixed door. One door on one side, window on the other. It was meant to be a 4-foot but 8-foot window, tilt and turn, but for some reason it's turned up as a 2-foot tilt and turn and a 2-foot fixed. And there's the 2 bits of glass for it, one down there, one down here. Just move those puppies. Jesus Christ, they weigh some. So yeah, got a nice bit of air flowing through and got some light coming in here now, which is good. So we can actually get this place completely skirt and boarded afterwards, get all the furniture on the walls, get the floor up, get the downstairs completely cleaned out, get that window in, and then we can concentrate when I come back to work on potentially getting the new floor down, new access hatch built and installed, and something to do the floor. We'll probably just paint the floor, same as out there. We'll paint it with that grey. I think that's going to be the plan. Obviously the box is ready to be plastered, so I need to get some plasterboard, and the guys are out here digging the first of 3. So they've had a bit of a mission trying to get past rebar, so we need to get some flow on there. There's a little wooden piece going in there to stop the actual concrete, and there's the adapter that's going on. So it certainly should let, we've got 2 inches worth of water flow now. We get it one on there, one on over here, and one over here, and get that one replaced over there as well, and then we should be okay. The guys now are making a framework for the back here, so we'll get a framework on the floor, get something on here, get that screwed in, and obviously get the uprights on, but we can't do any of that until the soil is done. Tyson, you oversleep? Tyson was asleep under the hedge and just been woken up. So anyway, I don't think I've ever had a lunch break. Anyway, we'll get some silicone on here. I'm going to get that in there first, make sure I measure it first, make sure it goes in fine. Unfortunately, they put 2x4s down to the floor and then concreted around it, which is a stupid thing to have done. They're meant to have actually concreted right to the very wall and in fact up. So that's not ideal. That's a definite weakness. So I may very well hold off on putting that in until we get that boarded up and get that concreted in there, because that is one, it's damp, which is not too bad. I'll probably get some concrete in there now. They're going to be doing some concrete in a minute, obviously for the drain outside. So I'll get them to knock up a bit more, and I'll actually use it to put them in there, because that's not ideal. And they actually did it on that one there as well. They've got one which has got a setback as well on there, which is not good. It's only if the driven rain comes in, then obviously it's going to come straight underneath, and over time the silicone obviously going to weaken, and then you've got a weakness. So this one here, the wind and rain comes at that angle here as well. So it's going to that corner is going to be an absolute. It's going to be pebbled with water and rain and all sorts. So we definitely can't have a weakness there, that's for sure. So I'm going to get that built up to ensure that we can stop any water coming in, and then we'll silicone the living hell out of it to ensure that when the window's in, she's all good. Again, 1:05. I'll update you as I go in the afternoon, but give us a like and some comments at the same time. Okay, so we're at 5 o'clock, give you a quick update. Board's gone back in because I've had to do the concreting, so that's been done. Windows on the front are in, operational, not perfect, but they're in. This one, put the board back in, but it's mainly because I want to make sure that these sides that I've now cut and have now concreted go off. So that's back in, this is back out. Just filled a couple of holes, obviously there's been screw holes everywhere, so that's now in and sealed. This one's in and sealed. I've had another bit of rain, which is lovely. But as you can see, windows are in. Again, a couple of little patches where I've been filling, siliconed all the way around. So that one's in. Hello. This one's in too. So it does change the look of the building straight away, just by literally having those in. Amazing. So that's in. We've actually got one of the drain holes in, but I need to find my keys and go and actually connect downstairs, because they've connected it, but it's not connected to any drainage at the moment. So it's currently just pouring downstairs, and we're having rain, as you can see. The guys have been spending some time today building the frame for the back of here. So I've spoken to the window guy about keeping the windows potentially for here. That means we've got to make a framework to come right down here, which is going to have to go in. There's no sill, which means we're going to have to make a wooden sill of some sort. So they're working on that at the moment as we speak. Today, that is. And obviously in here, I'm going to carry on doing the window tomorrow. So tomorrow that will be set, and I can crack. Other than that, we're pretty much over for today. So I'll check out now. Thanks for watching. Comments please below. Just seeing that in my eyeball. And thumbs up and share if you can. Anything you want to see or know, let me know. Failing that, I will check in with you tomorrow. Thank you.